new leadership. I will also work vigorously for the growth of the organization and take our ideology and goals of the party to the people. Your continuous support has been a real inspiration for me. I will be forever grateful to you who have stood by me during successes and all the challenges of my life. I reiterate that I accept to continue the responsibility as the party president. Thank you.
चोवीसची निवडणूक याबाबत सगळ्यांनी आपल्याला विनंती केली होती की लोकसभा विधानसभा निवडणूक महत्त्वाची आहे, विशेषतः विरोधकांना एकत्र आणण्यासाठी आपल्या नेतृत्वाची
साधारणतः 30 मुद्दे होते. एक तर एकत्र देशाचं चित्र आहे, त्या पार्श्वभूमीवर सर्व विषयांनी लोकांना एकत्रित करण्याची प्रक्रिया हे अत्यंत महत्त्वाचे आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये व्यक्तिशांमध्ये अनेक राजकीय नेत्यांची सलग असे संबंध असल्यामुळं या कामात लक्ष देण्यासाठी तुमची आवश्यकता आहे असं अनेक सरकारांनी, विशेषतः अन्य राजकीय पक्षाच्या सरकारांनी मत व्यक्त केली. त्याच्यामध्ये काँग्रेसचे राहुल गांधी असतील, त्याच्यामध्ये काँग्रेस पार्टीचे सीताराम येचुरी असतील, अशी अनेक नावं सांगता येतील की या सगळ्यांची या अँगलने लक्ष देण्यासाठी तुमची आवश्यकता आहे असं मला प्रत्येक केल्याने बघता येईल.
अजित दादा ज्यावेळेस होते पूर्ण राष्ट्रवादीचे नेते म्हणत होते की तुम्ही राजीनामा मागे घ्यावा. अजित पवार यांचं म्हणणं होतं की तुम्ही राजीनामा म्हणजे पुढचा उत्तराधिकारी ठरवा. आज ते या पत्रकार परिषदेमध्ये दिसत नाही, त्याला
पत्रकार परिषदेत सगळे असतात तरी जे आमचे बाकीचे सहकारी आहेत त्याचाही मला आश्चर्य होतं, कारण सहसा पत्रकार परिषदेमध्ये पक्षाचं सगळं नेतृत्वाची पलीकडे बसत नाही. आणि आज या सगळ्या सहकार्यांनी मला एक त्यांनी बैठक घेतली आणि असं सांगितलं, त्यांनी ठराव केला म्हणून सांगितलं. त्या ठरावामध्ये मी माझा निर्णय बदलावा अशा प्रकारचा आग्रह सूचित केला आणि तो माझ्याकडे पोचवण्याचं काम जसं पक्षाचे अध्यक्ष, जसे विरोधी पक्षनेते, आमच्या संघटनेचे ज्येष्ठ नेते प्रफुल्ल पटेल किंवा अन्य राज्यातले सहकारी या सगळ्यांनी
Blue Star Fast Cooling AC.
Hello and welcome to this India Today special, where we are joined by a very special guest. Joining me is the Pakistani Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who is here in Goa for the two-day Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting that has just concluded. Appreciate your joining us here, Mr. Bhutto Zardari. Welcome to Goa, welcome to India. You're the first foreign minister from Pakistan to be in India in 12 years. But it appears that your visit has not been able to break the ice between India and Pakistan. From what we gather, no conversation with our Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, unconfirmed reports of a handshake, and little progress made in breaking the ice. Am I right to say nothing has really been achieved by you being in India?
First of all, thank you so much for having me, obviously here in Goa, but particularly on your show, India Today. I like the opportunity to speak through you to the Indian people. As far as the success of my visit, well, the aim of my visit was to attend the SCO, of which Pakistan is a member. And to that end, my visit has been successful. As far as Pakistan's position on bilateral relations with India or any meaningful engagement or dialogue with our Indian counterparts, our position remains unchanged. And that is that until India reviews the actions it took on August 5th, 2019, Pakistan is not in a position to engage bilaterally with India.
No, that's your unchanged position. Our position is equally firm. Terror and talks don't go together. And until Pakistan is seen to actively do enough to stop cross-border terrorism, to sponsor terror outfits like the Jaish and Lashkar, we can't talk with Pakistan. So it seems, therefore, that the two countries are in, as I said, a deep freeze. How do you respond to India's position? You cannot have terror and talks coexist.
So as far as India's position is concerned, terrorism isn't anything new. It's an old challenge, and despite having to face this challenge, we have had on and off talks. So as far as being a consistent position, I don't quite know how consistent it is. As far as the issue of terrorism, Pakistan wants to deal with terrorism not because India says so or the Indian government said so, but because we want to end this menace. It has caused the largest number of casualties amongst any of the SCO nations present here today. Pakistan has suffered the most casualties. I myself stand here before you today, a victim of terrorism. So Pakistan and myself are wholly committed to combating this menace. As far as accusations are concerned, we are ready and willing to engage and address any concerns that India might have, but India would also have to address our concerns. India would have to explain what Kulbhushan Yadav, not a non-state actor, a state actor, a Navy commander, was doing in Pakistan, carrying out terrorist attacks on Pakistan soil. Does that not come under cross-border terrorism?
Can I just stop you, Mr. Foreign Minister?
If you allow me to complete, and then of course that's one such complaint. Then of course we all know the incident of Samjhota Express, where we are yet to see justice. The Lahore incident, terror attack that I presented the dossier before the United Nations. All those questions need to be answered.
You know, I can go on and give you a long list of Pakistani involvement in terror attacks that dates back to the Mumbai blasts of 1993, through what happened in our parliament, through Pathankot, through Pulwama, through Uri, even to Poonch 3 weeks ago. The fact is, the evidence that Pakistan provides, whether it's about a Kulbhushan Yadav, whether it's about a Lahore the terror attack, has not been backed by international agencies. In the case of Pakistan, we've seen Mr. Bhutto Zardari.
The fact is that
let's be very clear, that this is backed by credible evidence.
I see. Would you allow me to respond, or would you continue?
No, these are credible evidence. I was in Clifton where you live, and Dawood Ibrahim, responsible for the attacks of 93, still continues to live there. Hafiz Saeed, no action, credible action taken for 2611. Masood Azhar for Parliament, for Pulwama. So, we can give you a long list of evidence.
The point is, while you claim to have a long list, you refuse to accept that Pakistan has any legitimate concerns. For example, you were saying that the fact that we've caught Kulbhushan Yadav, we can show him to you, the fact that he was a Navy commander in the Indian Army is not a legitimate accusation? Then who is India to defend in Pakistani courts? Who is this man, Kulbhushan Yadav?
Who is Ajmal Kasab?
No,
who
but
was
sir,
caught in the
you
act
see,
of
I'm
terror on 26/11,
not
sir?
denying there's a Mumbai trial ongoing within Pakistan. The reason that trial has not progressed is because India is refusing to produce the witnesses necessary for us to take that case forward. If you compare that with the Samjhota Express attack, over there everyone was acquitted.
We've sent
But
you
we've seen-
voluminous evidence of 26/11, Mr. Foreign
Sir,
Minister.
I'm not
Surely-
doubting that you've
surely,
sent.
you know, you
I'm
don't
not
want to-
doubting that you've sent
You
evidence.
want to live in denial. This is the problem.
This is not denial. This is the problem. The problem is I'm being very clear with you. I'm speaking with facts and I'm speaking rationally and unemotionally. But you are getting quite hyper. And I would like to suggest that if
I
we are
lost
to
friends, sir, in 26/11. With due regards, perhaps,
Sir,
just as you said
you-
today, in
I'm not-
fact, in your speech, that your mother died in an assassination
So
by a terrorist.
surely,
We've
if
all
you
suffered.
lost friends at the Mumbai attack, you too would like to see the conclusion of the Mumbai trial.
Yes.
So perhaps you will take it up with the government in India that in order to conclude the Mumbai trial, India should consider sending the witnesses necessary in a court of law. We have a very similar legal system in India and Pakistan.
We provided you voluminous evidence,
Sir,
Mr.
you
Foreign
can provide as many pieces of paper as you will like, but as your legal system works, so does mine. And in your legal system, along with those pieces of paper, you have to provide witnesses in order for a case to go forward. So until we have that sort of cooperation from the Indian side, this case cannot conclude. Now that I have shared with you my position on the Mumbai case that is sub judice and ongoing, could you perhaps enlighten me that on the Samjhota attack that took place in 2007, where Pakistanis lost their lives, why it is that India has been unable to hold anybody accountable for that terrorist incident on Indian soil that resulted in Pakistani lives lost?
Sir, the fact is, India has prosecuted all its terror cases under the rule of law. We even gave Ajmal Kasab, who was caught in a terror attack, the due process of law. But let me come to your response. Today, you at the SCO, you said, let's collectively eradicate the menace of terrorism. Let's not get caught up in weaponizing terrorism for diplomatic point scoring. With due regard, sir, when you say that, isn't it the responsibility of Pakistan, which globally has found itself in the corner for having sponsored terror, to first stop allowing its soil to be used for terror activities against India? Somewhere you've got to start. Otherwise, your words will sound hollow, with all due regard, Mr. Minister.
But sir, our words or our track record speaks for itself. We are the only country on the planet that has not completed one, but two financial action task force objectives, one on counter terror financing and one on money laundering. As far as the issue of terrorism is concerned, the numbers speak for themselves. You can take out the data between sort of 2006 up until 2014, Pakistan was in a very difficult situation vis-a-vis the activities of terrorists. We were facing terrorist attacks almost every other week, but precisely because the whole of the Pakistani state, across the political spectrum, sat together, came up with the necessary consensus that resulted in operations in South Waziristan, then in North Waziristan, and a national action plan, we managed to break the back of these terrorists. And unfortunately, you're caught in an old, stale perception about where Pakistan is on this issue. And I believe it would be more constructive if we engage on these topics, because I am saying this is a genuine issue for me. I understand that it is a genuine issue for India. I'm not denying the legitimacy of this concern. I'm just suggesting the way that you're engaging in trying to resolve this concern is not necessarily the most productive.
You're saying have an open dialogue. You will express your concerns, we will express your concerns, because today you argued that you, in your speech, that you felt the pain of terror because you lost your mother to an assassination by a terrorist. You then went on to say we must stop conflating non-state actors with state actors. But for that, sir, the state must act, Mr. Bhutto Zardari, in a non-partisan fashion against all terror. Absolutely. You can't sponsor terror directed against India and then fight terror within Pakistan or across the Durand with Afghanistan. Do you agree that, one man's terrorist cannot be another man's freedom
Absolutely,
fighter.
and that's our position. That's what I want you to do. I want you to break this fiction that has been fed to you, that we have a different perspective on this issue. I believe that this line of argument, this wolf whistling around the world terrorism, which is ultimately an Islamophobic wolf whistle, not only to whip up Hindu sentiment at home here in India, but also to browbeat Pakistan. That might be a good electioneering strategy for some, but it's certainly not an effective counter-terrorism strategy. What I'm trying to explain to you, that with better coordination, and I absolutely agree that not only us, but the international community needs to coordinate better vis-a-vis this topic, we can achieve far more than we have today. Pakistan has achieved in our fight against terrorism across the board. This doesn't serve our purpose, neither does it serve your purpose.
Why do groups like the Jaish and Lashkar continue to operate from terror camps within Pakistan? Show the world credible action. I mentioned Dawood Ibrahim, sir, because the fact is he lives in Clifton, which is where you live, and the fact is he's lived there since 1993 when the Mumbai blast took place. Act against him, hand him over to India, and maybe that will be the kind of gesture that breaks this frozen peace.
So, but the frozen peace is a result of the actions of the 5th August 2019, where India unilaterally violated not only international law, not only UN Security Council resolutions, but also bilateral agreements between India and Pakistan. If we are to have any engagement, if we are to have any dialogue, ultimately, presumably, that will lead to some sort of documentation, some sort of written agreement. And what trust can Pakistan have on India's commitment to bilateral agreements or even multilateral agreements? We've seen that they've treated, whether it is our bilateral arrangements or United Nations Security Council resolutions, is nothing less than a piece of paper.
You know, the fact is what happened in August 2019 is an Indian internal issue. Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of this country.
You're an Oxford-educated individual.
Let's be very clear. You
know the position of international law.
You know
United Nations Security Council resolutions.
That's the third time you mentioned UN Security Council resolution. Those resolutions also call for Pakistani army to withdraw from POK, from Gilgit-Baltistan. Are you willing to do that?
I obviously, when I say abide by the UN Security Council resolutions, that means I too am ready to abide by the Security Council resolutions.
What we call Pakistan-occupied Kashmir?
I too would be willing to abide by the United Nations Security Council resolutions. What I wonder is, what confuses me, is why the largest democracy in the world, a country where if the government, I'm not sure about the government, but the people value being a democracy. Why on earth would they be scared of a plebiscite or a referendum or the people of Kashmir deciding their own fate?
Are you willing to, therefore, based on what you've just said, withdraw Pakistani army from POK, Gilgit-Baltistan, as per the UN resolution? Because that is also part of the UN resolutions, right at the very top.
I'm not denying, I'm unlike you. I'm not choosing to read only one line of the United Nations Security Council resolution, but see it in its entirety. I'm not suggesting unilateral action by Pakistan. Unilateral action is what you did on August 5th, 2019 in Kashmir. Unilateral action, violation of our bilateral agreements and international agreements.
You know, Mr. Bhutto, the fact is, and this brief conversation already so far has revealed the huge trust deficit that exists.
No, there's a fact deficit.
No, just a minute, sir. Prime Minister
Modi...
There's a fact deficit. Prime Minister
Information deficit.
Right, Prime Minister Modi came to power in 2014. The first act was...
Came to where?
Came to power in India in 2014, the Prime Minister invited Nawaz Sharif to his swearing in. Mr. Sharif came. He was then in Pakistan, came impromptu, met Mr. Sharif in December 2015. What happens a few weeks later? Pathankot, a terror attack. How do you build trust when we've seen it happen with the Lahore bus yatra, was followed by Kargil? There is no trust because Pakistan has not done enough to ensure trust. ताली दो हाथ से बजती है.
Sir, ताली exactly दो हाथ से बजती है. तो अगर आप कह रहे हो, हुकूमत भारत का हुकूमत शार्म शेख में मानता है कि हम भारत बलोचिस्तान में इन्वॉल्व हैं, पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ के फोर्सेस को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं बलोचिस्तान में, फिर उसके बाद
India didn't admit that at Sharm el-Sheikh.
Again, another history lesson. That's a separate topic. And then उसके बाद उसके सपूत के तौर पे हम एक कुलभूषण यादव, एक इंडियन सिटीजन जो इंडिया का नेवी कमांडर है वो पाकिस्तान में पकड़ा जाता है, तो क्या this is a state actor? Do you not see a difference between a state actor and a non-state actor?
No, I don't see the difference
See,
when the
that's-
non-state
that's-
actors are actively sponsored by the state
So
actors.
why would state actors sponsor non-state actors to cause the largest number of casualties in our own country?
Because they do it when it is directed against India. You act
But
against
sir,
terror
if you-
when
if
it
you
involves your own
count-
citizens,
no,
but
that's
not when it
true.
involves
I
Indians.
think that is true for you, which is not true for us.
You know, your own belligerent comments in a way at times on Prime Minister Modi, Mr. Foreign Minister, have also not helped. It seems that when it comes to Mr. Modi specifically and India in general, Pakistan leaders want to cater to your own domestic gallery. You've made the kind of comments that make it almost difficult, if not impossible, to see how this trust deficit is bridged.
So first of all, I think if you assess the domestic politics of both countries, it is in India where Pakistan plays a larger role in your elections, whereas India does not actually feature in our elections. As far as politicking is concerned, we see it from the Pakistani perspective that every time there is an election in India, be it regional elections or national elections, there is a so-called terrorist attack that is exploited for electoral gains. We have no problem with any individual, and our words never intended to cause any effect. Those words were not my words.
They were your words.
No,
You
sir, I
spoke
was
them.
yes, but who was I quoting? I was quoting the Indian citizens. Anyway, I don't want to rehash a conversation that has already happened or quote a BBC documentary. We can have issue with the choice of words that anybody uses, but everybody knows that neither politics is personal nor diplomacy is personal. The question before the people of India or the government of India is, do you want to create an environment that is conducive to talks? Do you want to implement your own stated foreign policy agenda, which is neighbors first? And if India's foreign policy's motto is neighbors first, then they have to do some sort of engagement with one of their neighbors.
India's foreign policy wants our neighbors to be good neighbors. They want our neighbors to be neighbors who will not promote violence, who will not target Indian citizens. That's all that they want. We want Pakistan to show and prove with credible evidence that they have stopped sponsoring terror activities, and we can then have a normal relationship, which we all want. At the moment, there's no trade, there's no, there are no transport links, visas are difficult to get. We want to have a better relationship, but you've got to make that effort. You've got to do more.
So
the
it's
world
really-
wants you to do more.
We're working for ourselves, not for you, to deal with this issue. And it is an issue of serious concern. If we're going to turn terrorism into a political point, whether it is for domestic politics or geopolitics, then we will not be able to resolve this issue. And frankly, at the moment, this issue has become far more complicated since the fall of Kabul. The manner in which various terrorist organizations that are a threat to me, that are a threat to you, that are a threat to many other countries, are able to coordinate and conduct themselves today was not the case a year ago. At the moment, the fallout of that is being borne by Afghanistan and Pakistan. As I said in my speech today, we may be the first to be affected, but we will most certainly won't be the last. And despite everybody's emotions, despite what may have happened in the past, what I'm suggesting is we must work together, Foreign Minister.
We'll see that in the general elections, Mr. Foreign Minister, but I must ask you in conclusion, did you have a handshake with Dr. Jaishankar or not?
In all our unofficial engagements, we always shake hands when we meet.
So you shook hands.
Of course. And we had a dinner conversation amongst a whole host of other foreign ministers, as one does at these sorts of events. We didn't hold a bilateral engagement.
We'll wait and see where, therefore, that handshake goes in the future.
Issues and factors influencing the Karnataka elections.
Amul versus Nandini controversy. Hijab versus saffron debate. Corruption allegations. And the rebel factor are all crucial issues that could sway the voters. The Lingayat and Vocaliga communities have dominated state politics for decades, and their votes will be crucial. Stay tuned to indiatoday.in/interactive for our daily coverage of the Karnataka elections every Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. only on India Today TV. Don't miss out on the #1 election team. Reporting from Ground Zero, grounded in journalism.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the more than 20 crore employees, government or otherwise, covered under the Employee Provident Fund scheme. An opportunity to significantly increase the pension you get after retirement. Higher the salary, higher the pension. Very unlike the current payout by the EPFO, which is too negligible to be taken seriously. And you have time until 26th of June to do so. Currently, employees pay 12% of their basic salary as contribution towards the Employee Provident Fund. Employers pay an equal amount, but a part of this, 8.33% of the salary, goes to a separate account called the Employee Pension Scheme account. This amount, however, never exceeds 1,250 rupees because the maximum salary for contribution to the pension fund is capped at 15,000 rupees. A new rule now allows employees an exemption from the salary cap, allowing the pension to be fixed more practically based on the last salary drawn. Importantly, the higher outgo will not impact your take-home amount as the full pension contribution will be deducted from the employer portion. A rough calculation shows the huge benefits employees can get. For our calculation, we assume the employee's age to be 57 years, just a year away from retirement. The employee has a pensionable service of 30 years, with a 60-month average salary of 2,10,000 rupees. According to the formula, which multiplies the average salary for last 60 months with the pensionable service and divides the product by 70, the pension under the current system is just 6,857 rupees. Under the new system, it skyrockets to 90,000 rupees, an increase of 83,143 rupees. The option of higher pension can be chosen by contacting the HR department of your company or applying for the same at the EPFO website. For those still employed, the option to choose is a second one. The user then fills in personal details like UAN and Aadhaar. After submitting the form, the employer will receive confirmation of the employee's current employment status. Once the employer grants permission, the application is cleared the EPFO field office before contributions towards higher pension begin. Problems arise when the site seeks information of older employment and joint declarations with your previous employers.
On screen, but I would want to take you off screen and want to know your journey from before Dangal and your entry in the showbiz, before you entered the showbiz.
Yeah.
How was it? Take me through that.
You know my before Dangal journey as
Yes.
well. We both are from Delhi University and neighboring colleges.
Yeah.
I think I always had this dream of becoming an actor. But, you know, as you grow up and life happens, you lose that confidence in yourself. And living in Delhi, I felt this dream of becoming an actor and moving to Bombay was a very far-fetched dream. And when I was in college, so this I thought that, okay, I can become a dancer and then maybe later on in life I'll get recognized somewhere and I can get into acting as well. So dancing and being a dancer and a choreographer became plan A for me, and acting kind of took a back seat. But I had come to Bombay for a dance reality show which didn't work out, and I decided to stay back. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm here for like 10 days. I just want to get the feel of the city and see if I really want to move here and pursue this dream of becoming an actor. I fell in love with Mumbai in those 10 days, and I went back to Delhi and told my father that actually my plan B was always a plan A since I was a kid, and I was quite reticent and shy growing up. So I never told this to anyone, thinking that they might judge me or people might not take this dream seriously. And I think I never took it seriously as well, because like honestly, I'm living my dream life right now. So my father was like, please go ahead, I think you should definitely do this. So I moved to Bombay and I stayed there for 1 year. I was still trying to figure out where to go and audition. So I did a couple of ads, and I was very picky and choosy. I was like, no. I had a lot of confidence for an outsider and for someone new in the industry. I had a lot of confidence. Now that I think of in hindsight, I was like, oh my God, I could have gone to many auditions, but no, I chose not to, thinking, no, I will do the biggest film in Bollywood. I'll have the wonderful character that I'll get to play. I had all of this in my mind, playing at all times. And Dangal luckily was my first audition for a film.
Wow.
And when I got to know that it's a film with Amir Khan, it's about 2 wrestlers, it's based on a true story, it's a biopic. On day 1 of audition, I remember I was so positive. I was like, I'm in it. I have cracked it, I'm in this film. And for months I didn't get a call back from them, but I was still very positive. And I used to read articles about, oh, now this actress is doing Geeta's character, now this actress is doing Babita's character. But still in my mind, I don't know why I had such a strong intuition that I have made this, like this is going to be my first film.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Powered by Jaguar, discover the magic of smart lights. Co-powered by Tech Pro by Blackberries. Show the way. Prime Minister Modi roars in Karnataka. Karnataka High Court refuses stay on Prime Minister's roadshow. Bajrang Dal showdown escalates. Smriti's query to Congress: are Hindus terrorists?
कांग्रेस हिंदू विरोधी है। राम भक्तों के खिलाफ इलेक्शन कमीशन में कांग्रेस पार्टी ही जा सकती है।
Bajrang Dal ban turns big poll agenda. Top focus at 6:30 p.m. with Nabila Jamal.
A very good evening. You're watching India Today with me, Nabila Jamal. State of war, Karnataka. I'm bringing you all the latest from different corners of Karnataka as the political stage here heating up. Let me cut across to our big breaking news. But before that, a quick look at the very stunning Hanuman temple, the Bhagwan Hanuman Mandir in Mangalore's Kudroli area. This is where I'm at, and this is a stunning view of this temple here as Lord Hanuman, or the Bajrang Bali as we call him, has become the latest political flashpoint. And right here in Mangaluru, we see huge devotion for Lord Hanuman. And just as that's become the new flashpoint, we see that campaigners, including Prime Minister Modi, who is a star campaigner for the BJP, all set to arrive into Bengaluru, in the capital city of Karnataka. And here's the big news, as there were a lot of objections to Prime Minister Modi's rally in the center of Bengaluru city. Here's a big update coming in from the Karnataka High Court. We see that the Karnataka High Court on Friday, that's today, has dismissed a petition that asked for the cancellation of Prime Minister Modi's rally in Bengaluru. In fact, the High Court has listened to the police commissioner, the council and the petitioners as well alike, as the police commissioner has assured and asserted that there will not be any traffic disruptions or inconvenience. In fact, the police commissioner, as we hear, has very clearly told the court that they have enough security and police personnel in place to take care of all the security arrangements. There shouldn't be any fear of any untoward incidents. This is the Karnataka High Court, after listening to the police commissioner and few other stakeholders here, have now dismissed the petition asking for a ban on Modi's rally in Bengaluru, citing traffic snarls, citing inconvenience, law and order situation, and also casting aspersions on the NEET students who are going to be giving their examinations a day later, be inconvenienced because of Prime Minister Modi's rally in Bengaluru. So now the latest is that the Karnataka High Court has dismissed that petition, so it's all clear, a full green signal to Prime Minister Modi's rally that will span across 2 days, both the weekend days, the Saturday and the Sunday that the rally will be carried out, will be split into 2 halves. I'm going to quickly, before that, give you, before I explain to you the route map of Prime Minister Modi's rally, which is about 36 kilometers on the 6th and 7th of May. I'm cutting across to Sagai Raj for a little more on that. Sagai, a quick word, as we see here that the Prime Minister Modi's rally in Bengaluru has now got a green signal, as the High Court, Karnataka High Court, now has quashed the petition, the PIL, that was filed by an advocate, a practicing advocate, casting aspersions on law and order situations that may arise, and also traffic snarls, also claiming that NEET students who are going to be giving their examinations will be highly inconvenienced. What did the court observe?
Absolutely. One of the PL which has been filed by the lawyers have raised the issue of traffic snarl, as you rightly mentioned out, and they have also said that it will cause major problem for the people in the city of Bengaluru. And if you notice that this particular roadshow will go through Bangalore South, Bomnalli, Jainagar, Basvanagudi, Chamrajpet, Govindrajnagar, Rajajnagar and Malleshwaram. And these are the constituencies names which I have mentioned. Apart from these, they will be also visiting the other specific places in these areas like Jainagar East and other places where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be taking the roadshow. And in the argument which held in Karnataka High Court, they had discussed about the pros and consequences, where the petitioner has raised the issue of student attending NEET exams, and that's when the government public prosecutor has explained that everything has been taken care. The district education officer has also said that the NEET examination is happening on Sunday, and that on the roadshow on that particular day ends before that, and the exam starts post 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So even the police commissioner of Bengaluru has assured the Karnataka High Court that all safety precautions precautionary measures has been taken, and even court has said that if at all, if there is any kind of law and order failure or any kind of problem in the roadshow, the organizers, that is the BJP party, will take the onus of it.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to our Sagai. Do stay with us. Please do stay with us, because there was a lot of confusion on the route map of Prime Minister Modi. Where is the rally going to be traversing through different parts of Bengaluru? Bengaluru, I know, is famous for traffic snarls, and the traffic itself has branded Bangalore in a very negative way, and they're trying to really shrug off that tag of being the worst city for traffic in the world, maybe. Forget about India alone. Now, taking our viewers through a little glimpse into the route map. Here's a quick understanding on the route that Prime Minister will be taking on the first day. A quick look shows that Prime Minister's rally on the 6th of May, which will be about 26 kilometers. He split the rally into 2 days. 6th of May, 26 kilometers that the rally will go on. 10 a.m. all the way to 1:30 p.m. It will be starting from the RBI layout, Bangalore South, Bommanahalli, then Jayanagar, then Baswangudi, then Chamrajpet, Govindraj Nagar, Rajaji Nagar, Kado Maleshwara, in fact Maleshwaram area, and then will be Kado Maleshwara, and then finally will be ending in Maleshwaram. This is the first day of the rally that will be carried out. Now I'm going to quickly cut across to the second day of the rally, where it will be beginning again at around 10 a.m. and will finish at around 11:30, where it will be starting from Old Airport Road, Suranjan Das Road Junction, the War Memorial, as well as the Brigade Road along the Richmond Town Shantinagar area. That will be happening on the second day, which is the Sunday, which will be a 10-kilometer stretch. And the reason to why this has been shortened from a one-day affair to now split into 2 days and shortened from 9 to 10 hours to now split into 2 hours to 1.5 hours is because NEET students will be, according to Prime Minister Modi, he does not want to inconvenience NEET students who will be giving their exams the following day on a Monday. So not to disturb their movement and of course create extra traffic in the already clouded and cluttered Bengaluru city, it appears that this has been decided to split into 2. Now, all right, thank you, Sagai, for joining us on that. If we've understood the route map, I'm going to cut across to a lot more coming in terms of heated political debate here in Karnataka. As we know that the Bajrang Dal has now become the latest flashpoint for people here, for political parties here. In Karnataka, and I'm right now, in fact, very significant here is my location. I'm right in front of the revered Bhagwan Hanuman Mandir, a stunning temple here in Mangaluru Kudroli area, and I will say it and stress on this every time that the people here of Karnataka show great devotion and worship to their gods, and not people here do not take insult to their god very lightly, and which is why I have managed to take one good look at this temple to see the kind of people who are showing such great affection and devotion to Lord Hanuman, to Lord Anjaneya as we call him here. So the Prime Minister now evoking Lord Hanuman on his campaign trail again as part of his rallies has accused the Congress of insulting Bajrang Bali. In fact, says the fact that the Congress even hinted at banning the Bajrang Dal as an outfit is basically an all-out insult to the Lord Hanuman. Says that the Congress now seems, and on the other hand, it appears that as much as the BJP is hitting back, the right-wing Hindu groups are really pushing back and giving enough and more grief to the Congress, it appears now is trying to soften their stance. In an exclusive conversation to India Today, Mallikarjun Kharge has given a corruption twist to this whole narrative here to Prime Minister Modi's Bajrang Bali war cry, declaring that Bajrang Bali will break the in fact, Lord Bajrang Dal, as much as BJP says that Congress has insulted Bajrang Bali, Congress says it is the same Hanuman, Lord Bajrang Bali, that will actually break the back of the BJP and will end corruption. Let's take a listen at all the reactions that we got right from the start of the day.
कांग्रेस की हालत इतनी बुरी है, उनके पैर कांप रहे हैं और इसलिए कांग्रेस को मेरे जय बजरंग बली बोलने पर भी आपत्ति होने लगी है। तुष्टीकरण के लिए कांग्रेस किस हद तक जा रही है, ये देश और कर्नाटका के लोग देख रहे हैं।
Any Prime Minister he uses such quotations used earlier. No. Even their Jansangh leader, founder, he was in Nehru's cabinet. He did not do such things. We also say, Jai Bajrang Bali, Tod de Bhrashtachar ki nali. Why you are equating Bajrang Bali? Have you taken contract? That only the BJP should say. Why you are exploiting for election? Now, if you go and ask in my constituency, Gurmatkal old constituency MLA, I might have built more than 80 Hanuman temples.
Right, now I'm going to cut across to Smriti Irani. As the Union Minister Smriti Irani speaks about the devotion that Hindus have towards Bajrang Dal, also hits out at the Congress. While speaking exclusively to India Today, slams the Congress for saying that this is a deliberate targeting of Hindus by claiming that Bajrang Dal is similar to that of the PFI. This is the Congress calling Hindus terrorists. These are strong words used by Smriti Irani as she spoke in an exclusive conversation to India Today. Let's have a look.
कांग्रेस पार्टी के पास जब सत्ता थी तब कांग्रेस पार्टी ने प्रभु राम के नाम को भी और अस्तित्व को भी नकार दिया विशेष कोर्ट में एफिडेविट दर्ज करवा के। आज जिन लोगों ने राम के नाम को और उनके अस्तित्व को चुनौती दी वो बजरंगबली जी को भी चुनौती दे रहे हैं। और जो बजरंगबली के भक्त हैं वो जानते हैं कि रावण की लंका में जब बजरंगबली ने पैर रखा था, उनकी पूंछ में आग लगाई थी रावण ने, तो पूरी लंका उनकी ढा दी थी। ये कांग्रेस वाले अगर भूल गए हैं तो याद कर लें।
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to, where we see barely less than a week left for Karnataka assembly elections to take place. Now we're seeing that the BJP has said very clearly that they're going to all out protect people of the Bajrang Dal. The BJP has fully likened the Bajrang Dal to Lord Hanuman, saying there is no difference between Lord Hanuman and the Bajrang Dal outfit, because based on the principles and the teachings of based on Lord Hanuman is the Bajrang Dal outfit that functions on the very similar ethical principles. So now we see the Congress, on the other hand, trying to do some damage control. I also spoke to some of the locals here in Karnataka to really see if evoking the Lord's name will actually lure them to come out and vote for a certain party. Let's have a listen. Now the Congress has gone all out to assure the people of Karnataka that they are building several temples. If they come to power, they will be building many Anjaneya temples of such kind. That one that I see here in Mysuru, a stunning Lord Anjaneya standing right on top of that temple here. It is and has huge gathering devotees wanting to pay their respects here. Such kind of temples will be built across the state of Karnataka, is what the Congress assures, and also will be forming a committee to monitor the functioning and happenings of the Anjaneya temple, since Karnataka is the birthplace of Hanuman, of Anjaneya. Politicians referring to God, saying you are insulting God, you're always trying to poke at people's emotions.
Don't compare about the gods. What's your power? You show it in a positive way. I just feel that politicians are kind of trying to attack people's sentiment by bringing religion and manipulating and dividing people with different religion. And I feel many people are reacting to it in a very bad way, and I guess it should stop.
Nobody has that authority of, choosing one god over the other, right? And demeaning one god over the other. I think it speaks a lot about the politician who's actually looking down on other god or other religion.
Now we have just a few days to go for Karnataka elections, and all the top netas are seen busy rushing to all the famous temples in Karnataka and seeking blessings. Of course, they want to be viewed as religious netas who are rooted and respect the culture of the state. We saw many netas seeking their blessings. Now, how will this really turn into favor for them? This Karnataka's elections will be telling. Seeing Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai is now hitting out at Siddaramaiah and mocking him for using stars to campaign for him in Varuna, claiming that Siddaramaiah will lose Varuna, which is why he needs star support. And on the contrary, you have the Congress now hitting back at the BJP with enough and more creatives that we are seeing of Starbucks showing Basaraj Bommai as a corrupt CM, of using Zomato logos to say that there is no delivery done, and all kinds of creative ads that the Congress is now using to hit out at the BJP. It appears that the two parties now locked in war a few days ahead of elections in Karnataka. It's very interesting to see their battle here panning out, and very interesting to also see the kind of creative attempts to hit out at one another. All the big top guns, including Prime Minister Modi, Sonia Gandhi, who will be in Karnataka in just a day to come, holding massive roadshows and rallies to try and galvanize as much support as they can before 24 hours or 48 hours before elections. That's when the campaigning date ends, and we're going to bring you everything and every angle right from the ground. State of War Karnataka. Thank you very much for watching.
Basaraj Bommai, an unlikely chief minister from the BJP. For one, he's not a leader cast in the Sangh Parivar mold. An import from the Janata Dal, Bommai, contrary to expectations, has followed the saffron ideology to the T. His term as the chief minister of Karnataka has been marred by charges of corruption and divisive politics. And today, he's fighting the toughest battle of his political career from Shigao, a seat he's won thrice. For Bommai, who has many detractors within the party, just a victory will not be enough. The margin has to be big enough to silence his critics and stamp his claim to the chief minister's post if his party wins power again. Into the last leg of his campaign, Bommai has been camping in his constituency, meeting voters, carrying out roadshows. Bommai on Thursday visited the Pagia Halli Dargah to meet Muslim voters. From campus ban on hijab to politics over Azan, the chief minister has faced much criticism from the community. He blames the Congress for that, claiming his rivals are hand in glove with the PFI.
They entertained PFI. They gave a lot of help also through removing their cases. So PFI and SDPI are two faces of the same coin, and they have grown so much. Now Congress has taken open support of them, and SDP and PF are blackmailing them now. They are under the clutches of PF SDPI.
The Congress poll promised to ban the VHP's youth wing Bajrang Dal has given Bommai fresh ammo, and he's milking it to consolidate the Hindutva vote.
Bajrang Dal, they are equating with PFI. PFI is a known banned organization. It's an anti-national organization, pro-terrorist organization. How can you compare Bajrang Dal with that? See, all families are the members of Bajrang Dal. How do you know that we are not members?
For Bommai, the fight will not end with winning his seat. The Lingayat leader will have to negotiate many landmines within the party to secure his second term as chief minister. But first, he has to deliver the elections for the BJP. Bureau Report, India Today.
Co-powered by Max Life Insurance. You are the difference.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
We're extremely privileged to have him here in person with us to give us a sense of the developments and the discussions that have taken place over the last 1.5 days. Also joining us on the dais, Shri Vinay Quatra, Foreign Secretary, sir. Shri Dammu Ravi, Secretary Economic Relations in the Ministry of External Affairs, as well as Srimati Yojana Patel, Joint Secretary, SCO Division, as well as the National Coordinator for SCO from India. With that, sir, I would request you, sir, to perhaps say a few opening remarks, and then we can take a few questions.
Friends from the media, we have just concluded the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers meeting today here in Goa. This was chaired by India for the first time. Foreign ministers of SCO member states, the Secretary General of the SCO and Director of SCO RATS took part in the meeting. During the meeting, the SCO foreign ministers assessed the status of decisions that will be approved at the upcoming SCO summit in July. The meeting also gave an opportunity to dwell on the state of multilateral cooperation in SCO, to address regional and global issues of interest, talk about the reform and modernization of the organization, and assess the progress of admitting Iran and Belarus to SCO as new member states. As you are all aware, Prime Minister Modi had articulated India's priorities for the SCO chair with the theme of towards a secure SCO. The acronym SECURE was given by Prime Minister because it lays out the main focus under our ongoing chairship, and SECURE stands for security, economic development, connectivity, unity, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, and environmental protection. I would also like to inform you that under our ongoing presidency, we have successfully hosted more than 100 meetings and events so far, including 15 ministerial levels or head of agency meetings. Many of the socio-cultural events hosted by India were the first of its kind in the framework of the SCO. The designation of Varanasi, Kashi, as the first ever SCO cultural and tourist capital for 2022-23, I think deserves special mention. It was our endeavor to create new verticals of cooperation in SCO, and as an example, I can cite the field of startups and innovation, traditional medicine, science and technology, empowering youth, and reviving the Buddhist heritage amongst the SCO member states. The work to implement these verticals is already underway, and it is being spearheaded by India. We are also committed to strengthening and further deepening the cooperation within the framework of SCO, and many of our initiatives and steps were in that direction. We have opened up new areas of cooperation and intensified engagement among member states. We hope to continue the momentum of our interaction, and we are obviously looking forward to the summit in July. In the course of these 2 days, I also held fruitful bilateral interactions with my counterparts from Russia, China, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. All ministers reaffirmed their support to India as the chair of SCO and expressed their appreciation for the contribution of India to that organization. I also met the Secretary General of the SCO and discussed the diversification and the deepening of SCO agenda. As regards the bilateral relationships, let me start with Russia. FM Lavrov and I noted the progress that has been made in our economic cooperation. We exchanged views on a number of regional and global developments. Since the G20 meetings are ongoing, and there's a BRICS foreign ministers meeting which is coming up soon, these two were also the subject of our discussion. Where FM Qingang of China is concerned, much of our attention, I think predictably, went to the disengagement issue in the Western sector. Yeah, but here again, the G20 and BRICS featured in the talks because China is a member of both groupings. With Minister Saidov of Uzbekistan, it was a warm first meeting. We took stock of our bilateral ties and agreed to have another conversation soon. This was also the case with Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Nutliev of Kazakhstan. With my Tajik and Kyrgyz counterparts, Foreign Minister Sirajuddin and Kulubayev, now they are long-standing friends with whom we have a rolling, ongoing conversation. And some of the subjects which came up in the meeting with them were overlapping with those of the others in Central Asia. They included connectivity, counter-terrorism, health, trade and energy. With all the Central Asian ministers, we agreed that the India-Central Asia format meetings in different domains should take place at an early date. So the overall sense that I would like to share with you is that of a productive SCO Council of Foreign Ministers meeting. I think it was useful in preparing the ground for the summit. So those are some opening thoughts and I would be delighted to take questions.
Thank you, sir. Before I take the questions, ground rules, please. Please introduce yourself and the organization that you represent. We'll also not be able to accommodate more than one question, even that may be difficult. Let me start. Pranay, can I start with you?
सर प्रणय उपाध्याय एबीपी न्यूज से सर सामने प्रणय उपाध्याय एबीपी न्यूज से सर मेरा सवाल इस चीज को लेकर है कि एससीओ की विदेश मंत्रियों की बैठक के लिए पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री बिलावल भुट्टो आए थे। भारत में बहुत लंबे समय बाद किसी पाकिस्तानी विदेश मंत्री की ये यात्रा हुई थी, लेकिन अपने भाषण में उन्होंने सीपैक का जिक्र किया। आज उन्होंने कहा जम्मू कश्मीर को लेकर कि भारत G20 में अड़ियल रवैया दिखा रहा है वहां पर आयोजन को करके यहाँ की सॉइल पे। तो आपने इस यात्रा को कैसे लिया और क्या आपको लगता है कि इस यात्रा से जिस तरह से उन्होंने कमिटमेंट दिखाया एससीओ को लेकर, बायलैटरल टॉक्स को लेकर भी कोई संभावना बन सकती है? क्योंकि ये बातें ऐसे समय में हो रही जब भारत में आज टेरर अटैक भी हुआ है।
We'll take a few questions together. Yeah.
Sir, hi. This is Shivangi Thakur from Z News. आज हमने देखा किस तरह से एससीओ समिट हुआ, लेकिन इसके बाद सर जो पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री हैं उनका एक बयान सामने आया है और उन्होंने कहा है कि आतंकवाद पर भारत और पाकिस्तान को साथ मिलकर बैठकर बातचीत करना चाहिए क्योंकि हम भी इससे पीड़ित हैं। ऐसे में जब वो यहाँ पर आए हैं, द्विपक्षीय वार्ता नहीं हुई है, राजौरी में आज भी हमारे जवान शहीद हुए हैं, तो कैसे देखते हैं? क्योंकि वो कह रहे हैं कि सिंपल सी चीज है, वो कह रहे हैं आतंकवाद पे हम दोनों को मिलकर काम करना चाहिए, लेकिन कैसे करेंगे जब आप समिट में आकर बातचीत नहीं करते?
सिद्धांत।
Hi sir, Siddhant from WION. When it comes to bilateral with the Chinese foreign minister, the Chinese readout says that situation at the border is stable. How do you see this divergence in the position?
Between
the Chinese side claiming that everything is normal at the border, everything is stable at the border.
Yeah, ma'am there. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Munize Jahangir. I'm from Pakistan, from Aaj TV, and my question to you over here is that the Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari made a bold move by coming here, and it is being seen as a breakthrough. He is also being criticized, but how do you, India, see it? Do you see it as a breakthrough, and what will be your roadmap in the future to resumption of at least diplomatic ties with Pakistan?
Sir, perhaps 4 questions. I'll hand over to you, sir.
देखिए, 3 सवाल जो हैं वो पाकिस्तान पर थे, 1 सवाल जो है वो चाइना पर था। तो ये 3 सवाल जो पाकिस्तान वाले सवाल जो हैं मैं एक साथ लेना चाहूँगा ताकि बिकॉज दे आर ओवरलैपिंग क्वेश्चंस। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी से दिस, एज अ फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ऑफ एन SCO member state, Mr. Bhutto Zardari was treated accordingly. As a promoter, justifier, and I'm sorry to say, spokesperson of a terrorism industry, which is the mainstay of Pakistan. His positions were called out and they were countered, including at the SCO meeting itself. So let me come to the specifics. On the China-Pakistan economic corridor, this so-called corridor, I think it was made very clear, not once but twice in the SCO meeting, that connectivity is good for progress, but connectivity cannot violate the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. So this has been our long-standing position. Nobody should have any doubt about it. And I assure you, those who are in the room today had no doubt about it. I made sure of that. Regarding आपका दूसरा जो था वो G20 के बारे में था. Now, you know, I don't think there is a G20 issue to debate with anybody. Certainly not with a country which is nothing to do with the G20. I mean, Jammu and Kashmir was, is, will always be a part of India. And the G20 meetings are held in all the Indian states and union territories, so it is completely natural that it is held there. जो आपका जो दूसरा सवाल जो था कि from what I understood that India and Pakistan should sit together. You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism. Victims of terrorism defend themselves, counter acts of terrorism, they call it out, they delegitimize it, and that is exactly what is happening. So to come here and preach these hypocritical words as though we are on the same boat, I mean, they are committing acts of terrorism. And, you know, I don't want to jump the gun on what happened today, but I think we're all feeling equally outraged. So, I think, I mean, let's be very, very clear on this. You know, on this matter, the terrorism matter, I mean, I would say Pakistan's credibility is depleting even faster than its forex reserves. So, you know, let's be clear what this is about. On your question, you know, is this a breakthrough? Look, he came here as a member, a foreign minister of an SCO member state. That is part of multilateral diplomacy. Please do not see it as anything more than that. It was not meant as anything more than that. It was not treated as anything more than that. And I think nothing that from what he said or what I heard he said deserves for this to be treated more than that. The China question. Look, my understanding of what the Chinese said, I think they used the word stable, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that there is an abnormal position in the boundary areas, border areas, along the boundary. And we had a very frank discussion about it. It's not the first discussion. I had spoken to Foreign Minister Chingang on the sidelines of the G20 as well. We have to take the disengagement process forward. And I have made it very clear, frankly, publicly as well, and you know, what I say within the room is not different from what I say outside, which is that India-China relations are not normal and cannot be normal if the peace and tranquility in the border areas is disturbed. You know, I've been very, very clear about it. I've been very consistent about it, and I have not changed my position at this meeting either.
Thank you, sir. Listen, before, in the interest of efficiency, please do not repeat similar questions or try to come back to it. I think.
You are watching India Today.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Powered by Jaguar, discover the magic of smart lights. Co-powered by Tech Pro by Blackberries. Show the way.
Caste mobilization. Legacy politics.
धोनी का फैन है।
धोनी का फैन है। पॉलिटिक्स में किसका फैन है?
पॉलिटिक्स में हम लोग येडियुरप्पा जी का फैन है। येडियुरप्पा को छोड़ के बीजेपी कुछ नहीं कर सकता साउथ इंडिया में।
Loyalties.
ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿನೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮೋದಿ ನೋಡೋಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Allegiances. तो बीजेपी पसंद है?
बीजेपी पसंद है और बीजेपी का ऊपर है मोदी। सब लोग मोदी जी का फैन है।
Karnataka, the land of paradoxes, bursting with regional pride, yet pride that lives in its deeply etched caste and religious fault lines. As we continue to climb up to northern Karnataka, the Hyderabad-Karnataka region, we stop in stunning Hampi. Not just for its jaw-dropping beauty, but also it's literally the birthplace of Lord Hanuman, Bajrang Bali, who unknowingly, unfortunately, has become the centerpiece of a fierce political face-off in the state.
त्रेता युग का समय पे ये पूरा एरिया क्या देख रहे हैं, सराउंडिंग एरिया को हम लोग कहता था किष्किंधा साम्राज्य। किष्किंधा साम्राज्य वाली सुग्रीव का साम्राज्य था। उसमें ये हनुमान का जन्म स्थान मानता है। इधर नदी देख रहा है ना हम लोग ने, तुंगभद्रा नदी है। तुंगभद्रा नदी का उस तरफ अंजनाद्री पर्वत है। अंजना देवी माँ है हनुमान का। 7000 साल तपस करने का जगह है वो इधर अंजनाद्री पर्वत। ये बाद में वो तपस का वजह से शिव जी का वर से, वायुदेव का वर से हनुमान जन्म लेता है। इसलिए ऐसा मानता है कि हनुमान का जन्म स्थान
जो ये हनुमान बर्थ प्लेस बहुत लोग मानते हैं इसको। बहुत लोग आते हैं, बहुत इंडिया से बहुत लोग आते हैं, गुजरात से, उत्तर प्रदेश से, नॉर्थ इंडिया से, साउथ इंडिया से बहुत लोग आते हैं।
It's an early, hopefully a good morning in Hampi. Hampi is a land soaked in history. History that glorifies it and history that haunts it as well. Till very recent past, Hampi used to be in the black book of avid travelers. But the year 2019 changed it all, when New York Times put Hampi as the second most destination in the world that you need to travel to. And since then, it's right at the top of most tourists' list. This popular town in Vijayanagara district, Karnataka, is home to the group of monuments at Hampi, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. An open-air museum dotted with ruins thousands of years old, with the world's oldest temples. The historic antiquity of the region can be traced back to the Mauryan period. Hampi, also famous for being the capital of the erstwhile Vijayanagara Empire, a kingdom that was synonymous to wealth and prosperity.
ये हम्पी जो है रामायण में किष्किंधा नगरी बोलते हैं। भगवान हनुमान जी का जन्मस्थल है। शबरी का गुफा है इधर और बाली किला है। सुग्रीव का ये जगह है। सो भगवान श्री राम जी आके इधर बाली का वध करके सुग्रीव जी को पट्टाभिषेक करके इधर ही से हनुमान जी को भेजते हैं माता सीता को ढूंढने के लिए।
Is the Karnataka government giving you what you need as a guide, as
मैडम 25 साल से मैं आपको बोला था गाइड का काम करता हूँ, कोई सरकार हमको सुविधा करने के लिए आए नहीं, लेकिन बीजेपी जो सरकार जो आया है, जो प्रवासोद्यम सचिव श्री आनंद सिंह सर जी ने हमको 5,000 सैलरी किए।
Nearly every household in Hampi is dependent on tourism.
तो 50 रुपीस नोट में जो हम्पी का स्टोन चैरेट लगा है सर, है ना, ये स्टोन चैरेट है, देखो हम्पी का फेमस है। इसको देख के भी हम्पी को बहुत टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं। 70 to 80% है ना हम्पी का जो लोग है ना टूरिज्म के ऊपर है, और 20 to 30% है ना फार्मर्स है, 10% लोग जॉब को जाते हैं।
Vijendra was once the most sought after guide in Hampi. Today he's a government employee.
मुझे एक्चुअली कंफर्टली 5 लैंग्वेज आता है, कन्नड़ा, इंग्लिश, हिंदी, तेलुगु, मराठी। हम पुराण से हिस्टोरिकल तक लेने से इसका सराउंड ऑलमोस्ट 65 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर्स बन जाता है, और हिस्टोरिकल से हम लेने से 26 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर में द ग्रेट सिटी का रूइंस है। ऐसा दोनों भावना भी इधर मिल जाता है, हिस्टोरिकल और रिलीजियस, ऐसा साइट है। उसके लिए भारत सरकार ने इसको द लार्जेस्ट द ओपन एयर लाइव म्यूजियम ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बोलकर अनाउंस किया। COVID-19 changed my job. So 3 years long time there was no job here because entire tourism was completely shut down, and even people not allowed to come out of the home. Studied hard and well in Hampi area only. So by the grace of God, finally I got job. India should be a Vishwaguru in all matters, in education, in prosperity, in poverty, clearing the poverty and giving the infrastructure and taking nation lift by lift and year by year towards the high.
The small tourist town of Hampi seems to be leaning towards who it voted the last time round, the BJP. आपको मोदी क्यों पसंद है?
आप ही मोदी पसंद है मैडम, उसको पूरा वो पसंद है।
फुल बीजेपी है,
फुल बीजेपी
है। इधर कार्यकर्ता लोग है ना बीजेपी है, और इधर लोकल एमएलए ना आनंद सिंह है, वो 4 बार विन हो चुका है ऑलरेडी, ये बार भी उनका ही चल रहा है।
नहीं, उसका बेटा, आज तो उसका बेटा है,
वही सिद्धार्थ सिंह है ना, उनका ही चल रहा है।
No matter the hours that you put in, which are grueling, the privileges of being on the election trail are incomparable. It takes you to places that have been on your bucket list forever. Hampi, for me, was one. For political reasons, yes, that we are here, but more so on the current political contest, the raging controversy over Lord Hanuman, Bajrang Bali. Why are we in Hampi because of it? Find out. Lord Hanuman, Bajrang Bali. In the final leg of this election has come to be a calling card. It all started with the Congress party releasing its manifesto, which said if the party comes to power, it will ban both the Bajrang Dal and the PFI, raising with it a political storm. The Congress, given an edge over BJP in most pre-poll surveys by pollsters, seemed to have handed the BJP a perfect opportunity, and the party jumped at it. It wasn't about Bajrang Dal, a fringe right-wing outfit anymore. For the BJP, it was an insult to Bajrang Bali himself. The campaign changed overnight. Social media display pictures of BJP leaders turned to say, "I am Bajrang Dal, ban me." The Prime Minister opened rallies with the chant,
जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस त्रिहु लोक उजागर.
Hanuman Chalisa was recited at temples. The Congress that seemed to have set the narrative till now seemed to now be catching up. In central Karnataka, the BJP, traditionally strong, is milking the controversy.
केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहस सीसा. जय बजरंग बली, जय बजरंग बली.
पूरा प्रोटेस्ट बीजेपी कर रही है ऑन द कांग्रेस मैनिफेस्टो इन कर्नाटका. आप उसको लेके आए हैं?
हाँ, निश्चित रूप से हम यहाँ चुनाव में ही हैं और कांग्रेस ने जो आज 2 दिन पहले घोषणा पत्र जारी किया है उसमें बजरंग दल की तुलना पीएफआई से की है, जो मुझे लगता है पाप का काम है. कांग्रेस का चरित्र ही ऐसा रहा है. मुस्लिम तुष्टीकरण के लिए वो हिंदुओं को अपमानित करती रही है और सदैव रास्ता ढूंढती है हिंदुओं को अपमानित करने का. हिंदू इस बात को बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा, भारतीय जनता पार्टी इसको बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी और निश्चित रूप से कांग्रेस को वोट की चोट भी करेगी.
नहीं, वो डीके शिव कुमार बोल के कांग्रेस का स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट है ना, उसको डर लग गया कि किसके बोले तो वो मुसलमान लोग के तुष्टीकरण करता उन्हें, इसलिए बजरंग दल बैन करता बोलता. उसको ताकत रहे तो बैन कर, सब लोग हम हिंदू लोग सब उसको देखता था, इसलिए वो सिर्फ इलेक्शन दृष्टि में करता है.
आप लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि जो कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो आया है?
सर बिल्कुल प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि लिए हमें हिंदू धर्म मानते हैं, हिंदू भगवान के लिए वो कभी भी वो हिंदू धर्म के लिए कुछ ना कुछ एक इफेक्टिव रीजंस देते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ एक गलत ढूंढते रहते हैं. फिर भी हमें हिंदू धर्म के लिए स्वाभिमान है, हिंदू संस्कार, हिंदू पद्धति रिवाज के लिए हमें भाजपा से, बजरंग दल से, आरएसएस सभी लोगों को उसकी तरफ उसकी निशाने में है. कुछ भी बोल दे, वो डीके शिव कुमार उनका मैनिफेस्टो में कुछ गलत किए हैं, उसके साथ हमें कुछ भी नहीं ठहरते हैं, उसके खिलाफ है, हमें अपोज करते हैं, बिल्कुल से अपोज करते हैं.
पर बजरंग दल के खिलाफ तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का कम से कम कर्नाटका में ही देख लीजिए ऊपर से 500 कंप्लेंट है.
नहीं, कंप्लेंट तो ये कंप्लेंट बहुत है.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का
नहीं, इधर सुनो, कंप्लेंट है फिर भी वो साबित नहीं हुआ है. कंप्लेंट करने का बहुत सभी लोगों को हक है.
कांग्रेस कह रहा है कि देखिए बजरंग दल में तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर प्रॉब्लम है, बजरंग बली और बजरंग दल बहुत अलग चीज है.
मैं बोलता हूँ बजरंग बल भी एक ही है, बजरंग दल भी एक ही है. वो बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, अभी कांग्रेस वाले उसको अलग करने चाहते हैं और सभी हिंदू लोग अभी हम लोग माला डालते हैं, बजरंग नाम से माला डालते हैं, दूसरे से रिश्ते हम माला नहीं डालते हैं, इसके लिए दो भी एक ही है बोलता हूँ.
In Hampi, the birthplace of Lord Hanuman, the mood is with the BJP. हनुमान पे विश्वास करता है.
हनुमान पे विश्वास करता है. बजरंग दल बैन करने वाला स्टेटमेंट जो कांग्रेस ने दिया है वो थोड़ा गलत लगता है.
आपको
गलत लगता है, ये नहीं देना था. बिकॉज हम इंडिया में बहुत लोग हनुमान जी को पूजा करते, नमस्कार करते, सब लोग मानते उसको, तो वो स्टेटमेंट नहीं देना था. वो बजरंग दल को हम फॉलो करते.
आप फॉलो करते हैं?
फॉलो करते हमने, वो स्टेटमेंट नहीं देना था. वो
गलत किया या सही किया?
गलत किया है. बजरंग दल से देश को कुछ विरोधी काम तो नहीं हुआ है अभी तक. वो तो पूरा देशभक्त है बजरंग दल का.
कांग्रेस को इम्पैक्ट होगा इसका?
हो सकता है.
विकृत मनस, वेरी वेरी बैड. वो पीएफआई वो हिंदू संगठन का जोड़न करता ना, वेरी वर्स्ट मेंटालिटी, दैट इज वन.
Anjanadri Hill. As per folklore, Lord Hanuman was born here. Hampi is also believed to be the Monkey Kingdom. Kiskinda, where Lord Ram met his loyal follower Hanuman. This is the Anjanadri hill, the birthplace of Lord Hanuman. What you see right there is the base of this hill, the feet of Lord Hanuman right there, and the head is right on top. It's about 600 stairs walk, or about 700 steps is what we are getting to understand. We're going to do it. It's a hot afternoon, over 40 degrees Celsius, but in the name of Lord Hanuman, Jai Bajrang Bali for our team. We're going to make our way there, and let's go. Steps, halfway mark. 350 more to go. That is where we have to go, and that is where we came from. It says 575, there is nowhere near 575, I don't believe it. They also told me they added 200 steps. You're looking very pretty, ma'am. Very beautiful. Come on, let's go. Away from the high decibel politics that's playing out in his name, Hanumanji, in the state of Karnataka on a national scale, the true abode of Bajrang Bali, the sense of peace and calm is astounding. Bajrang Bali, the son of Anjani and Kesari, the loyal companion to Rama, the one with limitless power yet merciful. One of the central characters of the epic Ramayana. And now, Karnataka elections 2023. Who would have known? Come May 13th, the question, who will get Bajrang Bali's blessings?
So now we'll play Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
Never have I ever Googled myself.
Of course I have.
Never have I ever sent a flirty text to a wrong person.
Never.
Never have I ever got my head shaved.
I did, for Dangal.
Never have I ever been scolded by my director.
Of course I have been scolded by my director. And in a funny way. This was, and it's Vishalji, it's in a funny way, like not like seriously. Vishalji once did that as a joke.
Never have I ever snooped through my significant other's phone without them knowing.
Never.
Never have I ever used a public transport to reach work.
All the time. Listen, Mumbai and its traffic, it's crazy these days.
Yeah.
Metro.
Never have I ever stalked my contemporaries on social media.
Of course I have.
Never have I ever been fooled or pranked by a co-star on the sets.
Yes. A lot of times.
Never have I ever skipped a workout session.
Skipped whenever I'm feeling tired. Yeah, but otherwise I like to work out.
Never have I ever slept while watching a film.
A lot of times.
Really?
As I
love
said,
sleeping.
I love sleeping and I sleep quite early, so.
Never have I ever regretted doing a film.
Never.
Never have I ever taken advantage of my celebrity status.
Never.
Never have I ever envied an actor bagging a film.
Never ever.
Never ever have I ever given someone my fake phone number.
I have.
Never have I ever drunk dialed an ex.
No, never.
Never? Okay. Never have I ever had a crush on a co-star.
Never. Not yet.
Not yet. All right, that's a wrap on our Never Have I Ever. Last word to your fans for Kathal.
Kathal is a dramedy. As I said, it's a film that you can sit and watch with your family. And it's a unique story. It's not just comedy, there's romance, there's mystery of these two stolen Kathals, and there is a very nice social message to it too, which I would not like to reveal it right now. I would like you guys to see it from 19th May onwards on Netflix, and I'm sure you guys would love it.
All right, that was Sania Malhotra. Thank you so much for joining us and all the best.
Thank you.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
There seems to be no stopping for Priyanka Chopra Jonas. The actress has been busy making headlines across the globe for weeks for her satirical choices and upcoming projects. And now, PC along with husband Nick Jonas and Sam Heughan attended the New York premiere of their upcoming film, Love Again. Priyanka chose a pastel blue off-shoulder Nina Ricci Fall 2023 gown. Sam, on the other hand, looked dapper in a black tuxedo, while Nick wore a printed black pantsuit set.
Do I know you?
I'm not sure.
Do you have someone in your life right now?
The more I get to know her, the better I like her. But she's stuck on her former boyfriend.
It's been 2 years. There is nothing wrong with putting yourself back out there.
I like you.
I like you too.
When you touch me like this.
The film Love Again tells the story of a grieving woman named Meera, played by Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who is struggling to live her life after the sudden death of her boyfriend. She keeps on texting him on his old number, which is now being used by another man named Rob Burns, played by Hugan.
Do I know you?
I'm not sure.
Do you have someone in your life right now?
The more I get to know her, the better I like her. But she's stuck on her former boyfriend.
It's been 2 years. There is nothing wrong with putting yourself back out there.
I like you.
I like you too.
When you touch me like this, and I hold you like that.
Open yourself to the universe.
Directed by James C. Strauss, the film will also feature Celine Dion and is scheduled to release in theaters on May 12th.
this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
Co-powered by American Tourister, born to cross boundaries. IDFC First Bank, always you first. Blue Star Fast Cooling AC.
You are watching India Today.
Good evening, you're watching India First. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Our top focus story on the broadcast is Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, launching a diplomatic surgical strike on Pakistan's Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, calling him a promoter, justifier and spokesperson of Pakistan's terror industry. Dr. S. Jaishankar was speaking to journalists after the Shanghai Cooperation Organization foreign ministers meet at Goa. He said Pakistan's credibility is depleting faster than Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves. This stinging attack on Pakistan, state-sponsored radical Islamist terror, came amidst reports of 5 brave soldiers of the Indian Army making the supreme sacrifice of their lives in an anti-terrorist operation in the Rajouri area, the forests of Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir early this morning. That anti-terror operation is still underway. Dr. S. Jaishankar said a victim of terror and the perpetrators of terror do not sit together, in response to a question on resumption of dialogue with Pakistan. He actually hit out at Pakistan's hypocrisy and doublespeak on terror. The External Affairs Minister also hit out at the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, saying connectivity is good, but connectivity cannot be an excuse to violate the territorial integrity of a country. And this is where China-Pakistan Economic Corridor passes through Gilgit-Baltistan, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, that is originally and actually an integral part of India. But before I get you much more on this big diplomatic surgical strike, let's first listen in to Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister.
As a foreign minister of an SCO member state, Mr. Bhutto Zardari was treated accordingly. As a promoter, justifier, and I'm sorry to say spokesperson of a terrorism industry, which is the mainstay of Pakistan, his positions were called out and they were countered, including at the SCO meeting itself. So let me come to the specifics. On the China-Pakistan economic corridor, this so-called corridor, I think it was made very clear, not once but twice in the SCO meeting, that connectivity is good for progress, but connectivity cannot violate the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. So this has been our long-standing position. Nobody should have any doubt about it. And I assure you, those who are in the room today had no doubt about it. I made sure of that. Regarding आपका दूसरा जो था वो G20 के बारे में था. Now, you know, I don't think there is a G20 issue to debate with anybody. Certainly not with a country which is nothing to do with the G20. I mean, Jammu and Kashmir was, is, will always be a part of India. And the G20 meetings are held in all the Indian states and union territories, so it is completely natural that it is held there. जो आपका जो दूसरा सवाल जो था कि from what I understood that India and Pakistan should sit together. victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism. Victims of terrorism defend themselves, counter acts of terrorism, they call it out, they delegitimize it, and that is exactly what is happening. So to come here and preach these hypocritical words as though we are on the same boat, I mean, they are committing acts of terrorism. And, I don't want to jump the gun on what happened today, but I think we're all feeling equally outraged. So I think, let's be very, very clear on this. On this matter, the terrorism matter, I would say Pakistan's credibility is depleting even faster than its forex reserves. So let's be clear what this is about. On your question, is this a breakthrough? Look, he came here as a foreign minister of an SCO member state. That is part of multilateral diplomacy. Please do not see it as anything more than that. It was not meant as anything more than that. It was not treated as anything more than that. And I think nothing that from what he said or what I heard he said deserves for this to be treated more than that. China-Pakistan economic corridor, this so-called corridor. I think it was made very clear, not once but twice in the SCO meeting, that connectivity is good for progress. But connectivity cannot violate the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. So this has been our long-standing position. Nobody should have any doubt about it. And I assure you, those who are in the room today had no doubt about it. I made sure of that. देखिए, I said, उनका कोई G20 से लेना देना नहीं है. I will also say, उनका कोई श्रीनगर से भी लेना देना नहीं है. There is only one issue to discuss on Kashmir, which is when does Pakistan vacate its illegal occupation of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That is the only issue up for discussion.
Facts stated by Dr. S. Jaishankar the way they are meant to be stated. Pakistan has nothing to do with Jammu and Kashmir except vacate Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Incidentally, that includes Gilgit and Baltistan. Something that should have been said every day from 15th of August 1947 is actually being said in 2023 in as many words. I want to bring in India Today's Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan for more on this. I also have Lieutenant General Sanjay Meston joining us on the broadcast. He's been a former defense attaché in Afghanistan. General Meston is also someone who keeps a hawk eye on developments in Jammu and Kashmir. There's been a terror attack in Rajouri. We'll talk to him about that. But Geeta, coming to you first, this is virtually a diplomatic surgical strike that has been launched on Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and the country he represents.
Well, absolutely. We've not heard Dr. Jaishankar speak on Pakistan, specifically on the foreign minister, the manner in which he's spoken now. Again, Gaurav, it comes just after the statements that he made with regards to Prime Minister of India in New York. So while there was a lot of conversation about can there be forward movement, is there going to be a handshake, there was an off-camera handshake, not on camera, body language spoke for itself. But what Dr. Jaishankar did this evening, right now, clearly set the tone and tenor and where India stands, India's position on Pakistan. That talks and terror cannot go together is a thing of the past now. It's gone beyond that. India is not going to engage a country that has a foreign minister for spokesperson of terror factories and terror organizations is something that now Pakistan will have to look at and maybe introspect, but certainly very, very strong, harsh and extreme in terms of how India is viewing Pakistan, but in terms of how India looks at what is happening with Pakistan and from Pakistan is absolutely clear over here, Gaurav.
So all that talk about the handshake and the body language and whether there is an icebreaker or a thaw, it's very clear. How can there be a thaw when Pakistan General Meston has taken absolutely no action against Hafiz Muhammad Saeed for 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, that Maulana of terror Masood Azhar for the parliament attack, for Pulwama, for Pathankot, and Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar, who's living in Clifton, Karachi, barely a stone throw from Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's house in Karachi. Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar, and Pakistan takes no action. But General, my bigger question to you is, a terror strike where we've lost 5 braves, including some from our special forces in Rajouri. Is the timing very curious? Recently Pakistan Army Chief visited the LC. There's a div commander who's a radical Islamist who's come on the other side, and the terror strike, General.
Gaurav, good evening. Obviously, the linkage is there. There is no doubt, even before the SCO. And also, we are now going to host the G20. Before that, there was a Rajouri strike. And today, again, they have done another strike. So there is a total linkage. And this has happened when their foreign minister is on our soil. So therefore, the Pakistan, their foreign policy is absolutely state-sponsored terrorism. There is just no doubt on that. And they're doing it largely with 2 countries. One is, of course, with Afghanistan. There they have been totally successful. They have been able to place their proxies, the Taliban there earlier also, and now again they have got them back. And they have tried to destabilize India by bringing in the Kashmir issue, doing cross-border terrorism, and also now in Punjab, drugs and everything. So their agenda is very, very clear. Destabilize the western borders of India. They have already destabilized Pakistan, so that the main issue, which I just highlighted other day also, the Durand line, is just, forgotten. That's gone in cold storage. And I'm very glad. Yesterday only I mentioned in your channel very, very aptly, and I think same thing, the foreign minister has reiterated today that Pakistan needs to vacate the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. That should be a priority 1. There is no denying of the fact.
General, stay with me. I want to bring in my colleague Shiv Arur for more on this. Shiv, this is absolute plain speak. This actually is one rocket after the other. It's almost like a multi-barrel rocket launcher hitting the target, and each rocket hits Pakistan bang on and exposes the terror state and its foreign minister.
And it doesn't just, hit Pakistan. It's also 100% the unadulterated truth about Pakistan. Bilawal Bhutto might have a swagger. He's got this big smile on his face all the time, which kind of betrays his lack of experience in being a foreign minister. But, to be called a promoter of terror, a sponsor of terror, someone who keeps playing victim, someone who needs to wake up to the reality of the abrogation of Article 370, goes beyond the realms of the usual Jaishankar style plain speak, that we've been used to for the last couple of years, Gaurav. Because I think as far as the SCO is concerned, Pakistan tried to, through Bilawal Bhutto, tried to make it seem like, oh, we're only here because it's the SCO. This has nothing to do with India. All of the people in the SCO are our friends. We're here for all the multilateral glory that Pakistan will get. Not for a moment acknowledging, that Pakistan is the world's biggest sponsor of terror. Even in his interview to us, he tried to prevaricate. He sipped water 10 times. He refused to acknowledge Pakistan's role and the world's perception of Pakistan as a global sponsor of terror. He tried to sidestep and escape, when we questioned him about Dawood Ibrahim. He had zero to say, just the usual, Oxford-style fulminations about, things like, witnesses required as far as 26/11 is concerned. So for someone as inexperienced as Bilawal Bhutto to imagine that he could have had some kind of an effect on India, I think has been put very ably to rest by Dr. Jaishankar, who has obviously minced no words in calling him a promoter and a sponsor of terror. And for someone who's an intern, someone who has a reputation of being an intern in his own ministry, I think this day is not going to be one of his favorites going forward.
Clearly. And Geeta, on that issue of G20, Dr. Jaishankar made it very clear Jammu and Kashmir was, is and will remain an integral part of India, and G20 sessions will happen in every part of India. Only issue to discuss with Pakistan is vacation of POJK, including Gilgit and Baltistan. Again, Pakistan and China called out on CPEC, Geeta.
Well, absolutely, Gaurav. He not only very clearly and firmly has informed in many words than one Pakistan that G20 meetings are going to be held in Srinagar, and not just Srinagar or Kashmir, that there needs to be a realization within Pakistan on when will they answer as to when are they going to vacate the occupied territories. Now that again is significant, like Shiv was just saying. It was an extensive interview to India Today where Bilawal Bhutto Zardari did mention this, and to a question on whether if he keeps harping on the United Nations Security Council resolution, will Pakistan withdraw troops from Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, he did say that, well, they are going to adhere to all of the clauses of the resolution, which means he himself will have a lot of answering to do back home. I do not know whether he had the clearances from the establishment to actually make that commitment. Having said that, the Indian side has made it very clear to Pakistan that there is a reason why the G20 presidency and the way India is projecting all its states is important, and Jammu and Kashmir being an integral part of India cannot be missed when it comes to planning and preparing for the G20 and the meetings being held across the length and breadth of the country, including Jammu and Kashmir.
What's extremely interesting also, and you know, a word of caution here, Geeta and Shiv, stay with me. General Meston, we've already had a number of terror strikes, but all south of Pir Panjal, which would indicate that Pakistan is also carefully calibrating what India is doing in Jammu and Kashmir. But the fact that a G20 meet will happen in Jammu and Kashmir and in Kashmir, could Pakistan escalate? And is there a real threat? Because we are the presidents, India has the presidency of G20 this year, India has the presidency of SCO this year, and Pakistan would want Kashmir to remain in global headlines, General.
No doubts, Gaurav. I had already mentioned sometimes back that the terrorism activities by Pakistan will substantially increase in J&K, and of course, very rightfully, it is south of Pir Panjal. Not only that, even China is now going to be having more of so-called, border incursions. We have had a few examples, so I visualize even that way. Coming on to one point, if I can highlight, coming on to SCO, I must highlight that as a colonel, I was the first Indian officer as a military leader, as a delegation leader, to go to China to attend the first peacekeeping exercise in 2005. And if you see the goals and charters of the SCO, the first 3 paragraphs by and large talk about the security concerns to the SCO member states.
Yes.
And in that, it talks about few very important aspects. One is, terrorism, separatism and extremism needs to be addressed on top priority, and multilateralism to maintain security, peace and stability in the SAARC countries. Now, why I'm talking about this very important aspect.
Yes.
When this exercise was done, the entire setting of the exercise, the troops were only from Russia and China, was exactly on this, that a military intervention was done in a state. This exercise was done in Shandong Peninsula of China, and the narrative was, the important aspect is, the narrative was that military intervention in a state which has been besieged by terrorists.
Okay.
What I'm trying to link up is, you look at Afghanistan.
No, you're absolutely right. And Afghanistan is one issue we will talk about. But Shiv, last 30 seconds that I have on this part of the show, very, very critical for India to ensure supremacy at the LAC. And General, if I may, we need to ensure supremacy at the LOC, at the LAC and in the hinterland, given July is the SCO summit and September is the G20 summit. General, yes, last 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, very right. And therefore, I can now just finish that previous point. Today, terrorism or the Taliban is sitting in Afghanistan. Why the SCO member states are not, especially China and Russia and Pakistan? Why is the Chinese foreign minister today going to, he'll be going now to Islamabad and having a trilateral with Pakistan and Afghanistan?
Yes.
On one they are recognizing that means the terrorism. And on one hand, the
and this is why External Affairs Minister was very right in calling out, exposing Pakistan as a state sponsor of terror. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but this is a story we'll be tracking very, very closely. Geeta Mohan, General Meston and Shivarur for joining me here on this India First special. Many thanks. A quick break. News and updates continue on India Today as we continue to expose Pakistan as a state sponsor of terror, a promoter, justifier and spokesperson of the terror industry whose credibility is depleting faster than its foreign exchange reserves. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
What's your longer term strategy on Europe, and is there a trade-off versus focusing more on India and expanding here?
So, Siddharth, the situation in Europe needs to be understood, in a slightly more detailed level, right? You have the Dutch assets, operations in Netherlands, which is 70% of our European footprint, is a pretty strong asset. It has always been cash positive, EBITDA positive, and does not require any support from India. So they can run on their own. Okay, so we are less concerned about that. We've had a couple of bad quarters. We will have one more bad quarter simply because there's a blast furnace relining which is going on there. In Q3, Q4, we were hit by higher energy costs, etc. So, but we are not, worried about the structural, strength of the Dutch operation. It's a sustainable business. It can run on its own. It can transform. The challenge is UK, which is 30% of our footprint there. That's not cash positive. More often than not, it's cash negative. More often than not, it's EBITDA negative. And many of the facilities there, particularly in the upstream, are reaching the end of life. So the clock is ticking on that one. So that's a call we'll have to take during this year or latest by next year. During this year and next year, those assets will come to end of life. And if there is not enough support from the government, we cannot transition to a new process route. The cash flows from the business don't support any more investments than we've made already there. So that's the challenge. To go back to your fundamental question, does this impact our growth in India? The answer is no, because like I said, the growth in India is taken care of by the cash flows in India, which are very strong. And like I said, if the Dutch assets don't need our support, and it's just the UK assets, which is 3 million out of 32 million, it's not as material as it was 10 years back, when it was 10 million out of 25 million.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 36 and minimum 23 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 31 and minimum 27 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 38 and minimum 24 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 28 and minimum 23 degrees. Chennai, maximum 32 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 33 and minimum 24 degrees.
Sanya Malhotra, an outsider whose love for dancing is known to all. Someone who dreamt of becoming an actor and has achieved it.
कट जब से ये खबर मिली है ससुरी जबान ही लड़खड़ा रही है।
वारदात कहाँ हुई है सर?
2 चमचमाते शानदार कटहल चोरी है गए।
सर ऐसे तो मुश्किल हो जाएगी, कल को लोग कुमड़ा लौकी तो रहेगी रिपोर्ट लिखवाने आ जाएंगे।
She carved a niche for herself even though she's only a few films old. The actress is gearing up for her upcoming Netflix comedy drama Kathal. Backed by Guneet Monga, the film is based on true-ish events, how a politician loses jackfruit and the police force is assigned to find the missing vegetable. Sanya plays the cop for the very first time in this Yashovardhan Mishra directorial. The Delhi University girl, however, entered the world of showbiz with a blockbuster hit alongside Amir Khan in Dangal.
क्यों मारा? मैंने ना मारा था।
जितना बबीता ने मारा है।
She made a mark for herself. Sanya underwent a physical transformation and extensive training to ace the role of a wrestler. Post Dangal, she starred in Pataka alongside Radhika Madan. The two actresses essayed the role of sisters who cannot stand each other but are a total mess when separated. Pataka also starred Sunil Grover.
मम्मी प्रेग्नेंट है मेरी।
मम्मी मतलब तेरी मम्मी?
ये तो क्या तेरी मम्मी?
She's what?
She then went on to be a part of one of the most progressive movies of this generation, Badhai Ho, alongside Ayushmann Khurrana.
मम्मी प्रेग्नेंट होती ना, फिर देखता मैं।
मेरी मम्मी प्रेग्नेंट होती तो और भी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती यार।
देखा?
पापा नहीं है ना मेरे।
आज का दिन फोटो में।
Sanya then featured in Photograph, a romantic drama that followed the story of Rafi, a photographer, essayed by Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Miloni.
मुझे ये फोटो क्यों दी?
बस एक बार अगर आप मिल लेती तो।
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies.
Co-presented by
Macho Hint, बड़े आराम से.
Co-powered by Timex, Choice of the Titans. XP100, India's first 100-octane premium petrol.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. On the show tonight, can the Bajrang Dal, Bajrang Bali issue be the game changer the BJP has been waiting for? Can it turn the course of the Karnataka elections, or has this opportunity come too late in the campaign for it to make a big difference to the end outcome? That's what we're looking at with data, with analysis on the news track tonight.
Bajrang Bali ki बजरंग बली की
कर्नाटका पोल्स बजरंग बली भरोसे. PM hails Lord Hanuman.
उनके पैर कांप रहे हैं और इसलिए कांग्रेस को मेरे जय बजरंग बली बोलने पर भी आपत्ति होने लगी है.
Congress tries to reclaim Bajrangi.
हम तो बोलेंगे जय बजरंग बली तोड़ दे भ्रष्टाचार की नली हम बोलेंगे
Bajrang Dal ban battle escalates. Will ban promise hurt Congress? Does Bajrangi fight mean advantage BJP? Big focus on News Track.
The Karnataka election seems to be Bajrang Bali Bharose. From Prime Minister Modi to Chief Minister Bommai, the BJP has equated the Hindu outfit with Lord Hanuman. The Congress, which promised the Bajrang Dal ban in its manifesto, is now backtracking. It's assuring of the construction of multiple Hanuman temples across the state. Will this Bajrang Bali Bajrang Dal fight help or hurt? And who? Take a look.
बजरंग बली की बजरंग बली की
From the Bajrang Dal
आंजनेय स्वामी की
to Bajrang Bali.
आंजनेय स्वामी की
The Congress manifesto called for a ban on the Bajrang Dal.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में बजरंग बली को थाने में बंद करने का निर्णय किया है
The ruling BJP seized on the call and extrapolated it to Lord Hanuman.
PFI is a known banned organization, it's an anti-national organization, pro-terrorist organization. How can you compare Bajrang Dal with that? See, all families are the members of Bajrang Dal. How to know that we are not members? Are they ready to enroll themselves in SDPI?
The BJP escalated its core Hindutva rhetoric. Congress climbed down and invoked Lord Hanuman, promising new Bajrang Bali temples if voted to power in Karnataka.
ರಾಮನ ಬಂಟ ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ದಳದ ಭಕ್ತರು ನಾವು ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಈ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ.
The opposition party at the same time coined a new slogan around Bajrang Bali, spinning the traditional cry around its corruption attacks on the state's BJP government.
Any prime minister, he uses such quotations used earlier. No, even their Jansangha leader, founder, he was in Nehru's cabinet. He did not do such things. हम तो बोलेंगे जय बजरंग बली तोड़ दे भ्रष्टाचार की नली हम बोलेंगे.
Not just Bajrang Bali, other epic heroes like Arjun from Mahabharata too have been used in election speeches metaphorically.
तो मेरी बहनों और मेरे भाइयों, कर्नाटका के अर्जुन बन जाओ, अपना ध्यान अपने भविष्य पे रखो, इधर उधर ना भटके. बड़े से बड़ा नेता आ जाए आपके सामने, आपकी बात नहीं की तो उसकी बातें को परे कर दो.
The Congress trying to disassociate the Bajrang Dal from Lord Hanuman. The BJP trying to make most of the opposition parties' call to ban the Bajrang Dal, from which it backtracked later. The campaign gets shriller before May 10th vote. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, the one question that's being asked in the last week of campaigning in Karnataka is, will the Bajrang Dal issue be a game changer? And so far there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of fire and counter fire. There's been no data which gives you a sense of what voters in Karnataka think of the Bajrang Dal, Bajrang Bali issue. I want to put out a response from C Voter in its tracker for Karnataka, which asks some question about the Bajrang Dal issue. Question number 1. Will the Bajrang Dal ban promise hurt or help the Congress? 44% of the respondents in this tracker for C Voter said this issue would hurt the Congress. 37% felt it would benefit the Congress, but that's about half the respondents saying they thought this would hurt the Congress's prospects. The second question in this tracker was, can the Bajrang Dal be compared to the Popular Front of India? Here, the opinion seems divided, 38% saying no, 35% saying yes, but the larger percentage of people saying that no, they don't think the Bajrang Dal can be compared to the PFI. And lastly, has the BJP gained by linking the Bajrang Dal issue to Bajrang Bali? 43% of the respondents say yes, 34% say no. And remember, these questions are significant because in most of the polling that's been done in Karnataka, the Congress has come out on top and the BJP behind. This is the first set of questions where people are responding to the BJP's narrative more favorably than they are to what the Congress is saying. So for once in this Karnataka campaign, it's the BJP that's on the offensive and it's the Congress that's on the defensive. And the question is, will this make a difference to the end outcome on the 10th of May? To talk about this, I'm joined on this broadcast by Dr. Sandeep Shastri, leading political scientist, national coordinator at Lokniti Network. R.K. Upadhyay is one of the foremost political analysts out of Karnataka. We've got with us for political perspective Captain Ganesh Karnik, chief spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, squaring off against him, Lavanya Balal, spokesperson of the Congress, and M. Aravagalam, who's the state spokesperson of the Janata Dal Secular. I want to go across to Sandeep Shastri first. In the way that we're seeing the Prime Minister, the BJP President, the Home Minister, and everyone in the saffron fold pick up this issue, use it as a missile against the Congress. They are trying to mobilize the base, get the party worker excited, the one who's not been very enthusiastic about the performance of the Karnataka government, and they think that this late opportunity gives the BJP a chance to change the course of the Karnataka elections. Do you think that this Bajrang Bali chant, the Hanuman Chalisas can potentially polarize voters in Karnataka along religious lines and upturn what conventional political wisdom in the state is telling us at this moment?
Rahul, we have been speaking of this for the last month. The focus of the campaign was very clearly on Karnataka. And we had also said last 4-5 days it could well change if some new issue comes up. And that new issue did come up, and I think the way the proposed ban on the Bajrang Dal, which the Congress put in its manifesto, has now occupied center stage in the whole campaign. Is it likely to change the mood in the state or change voting preferences in the state? 2 points. One, I think those who would have voted for the BJP for this factor, who are opposed to any ban on the Bajrang Dal, are already with the BJP. So I don't know if there is scope for greater mobilization on this factor. We have argued earlier also that 2008 was a saturation point for Hindutva mobilization. And is this factor enough to really take attention away from the strong level of unhappiness that was there with the state government? While it has put the state government and local issues on the back burner, will it really take away attention from that issue? It's very difficult to say at this stage, but undoubtedly the contours of the debate has changed.
The contours of the debate, which so far were focused on things like pay CM, 40% commission, etc., in the last week are changing towards Bajrang Bali, Bajrang Dal, Hindutva issues, which is really the BJP's turf. And in some ways, Lavanya Balal, this is a self-goal. Now we are seeing Congress leaders quickly turn around and say, we will get Hanuman temples built. We will also read the Hanuman Chalisa. It seems in the last few days of campaigning, the Congress is feeling the heat, and this is entirely a mess of your own making. You could have just left that issue out and you wouldn't have given the BJP the opportunity to pick up this gun and fire it at you.
Yes, Rahul, I'm just coming back from a campaign. I was on campaign from early morning, and what I see on ground, yes, people are not very happy about talking about this, but the focus of an average voter has not moved away from price rise and the increase in fuel prices and the gas prices and daily essential commodity price increase. It has not gone away from that or from the jobs. And I would just like to reiterate what KC Venugopal, our organization secretary in charge, told us today, is that this ban, the proposed ban, is on an organization, and it is not on any community or any religion. And we reiterate from the Congress that we will not allow any communal forces to breach the peace of this country in any part of the nation.
But here's what's happened. You're now trying to defend, justify, counter. Essentially, you're now batting on the BJP's pitch. This is where they wanted to bring you. Throughout the campaign, you kept them on issues of incumbency, on issues of corruption, on issues of what development had happened or not happened in Karnataka. Just in the last week, you've gone and bowled them a full toss and they're now hitting you out of the park. Now, whether it goes across the boundary, we don't know. But the fact is, your juicy full toss has been hit out of the park.
Yeah, it looks like that, but this is not going to affect our chances in the elections, Rahul. Our vote base, or our voters and Karnataka voters, are very clear about the issues that they have to be keeping in mind while going for elections.
Let me put that question to Ganesh Karnik. That yes, this ball is definitely being hit out of the park and the BJP seized the opportunity, but the momentum was so far in Congress's favor. The CSDS poll predicts a 6 to 8% gap in vote share between the BJP and the Congress. Even if you were to use this opportunity to pull some part of that gap back, the gap is still too much for just one issue and one sixer to be able to change the outcome of the match.
Rahul, thank you very much for calling me on this panel, and my greetings to all the co-panelists. Actually, 2-3 incidents have taken place, and one of them is the proposal to ban Bajrang Dal. And by doing this in their manifesto, Congress has come out with its true colors. Their hatred toward the larger Hindu community, their hatred about our faith and practices, and the way their former chief minister, who said all Lingayat chief ministers are all corrupt, and then the national president of Congress, he comes and tells or calls names to our honorable prime minister, calling him a venomous snake. That speaks of how desperate the Congress has been.
Okay, so I want to go across to the election intelligence dashboard and try and put this debate in context. Now, there are two parts of what's at play. One, make no mistake, the Bajrangi issue rallies the BJP's base. Their base has been a bit thanda in this election because they haven't found anything to really get them going. The government's performance so far has been, it's not been fantastic. Now, whether you're very disappointed or you think it's average, that's a different matter. But most polls show the people in Karnataka, including BJP supporters, haven't been terribly enthused with the BJP government's performance. And therefore, you've now got an issue to say, this is majority versus minority. They come in, they're anti-Hindu, they'll ban the Bajrang Dal. This is about protecting Hindu and Hindutva, and that becomes a rallying cry. The counter to that, and which is what some Congress strategists are talking about, is that this could potentially do for the Congress in Karnataka what happened to the minority vote in West Bengal for the Trinamool. Remember, before this, some part of the minority vote in West Bengal used to go to the Congress, some part to the CPIM, especially in areas like Murshidabad. But in the last assembly election, the Trinamool was able to pull all the minority vote away. Now, I have over here on the screen for context data from the post-poll study done by CSDS from 2018. If you look at the Muslim voting behavior, about 67%, that's about 7 in 10 voters belonging to the minority community, voted for the Congress in the last election. 17% said they voted BJP, 12% for the JDS. What the Congress is hoping is that in different regions of Karnataka, and I'll show you the Muslim percentage as a part of the population in different parts of the state, they're hoping to consolidate this in their favor. Now remember, Muslims as a part of the total population of Karnataka stand at about 13%. In a place like Bengaluru, it's about 12.9. Central Karnataka, it's about 12.4. Old Mysuru, 8.9. 16.7 in coastal Karnataka, 15.7 in Hyderabad, Karnataka, and 14.6 in Mumbai, Karnataka. So about 13% as an aggregate. At this moment, in past elections, the Congress has got, and I have data from 2013 as well, the Congress has got about 7 out of 10 of these votes. Now they're hoping, can we pull as many as possible? In 2013, about 50% of the Muslims in Karnataka said they voted for the Congress, 20% voted for the Janata Dal Secular, 13% for the BJP. So the Congress is hoping that they can get as many of those 13% aggregate Muslim voters as possible. Sandeep Shastri, how does this play out from a psephological perspective? 7 out of 10 voters voting for the Congress is already a very high level of polarization. There are 3 extra votes, but could this go up? The fact that you've taken this position that we will ban the Bajrang Dal, organizations like the Bajrang Dal, and therefore the Congress achieves as close to total polarization and starts the election with a base of about 12-13% already in the bag. Is that what they're trying to do?
Rahul, as you saw in the 2018 elections, around 2/3 of the Muslim vote went to the BJP, went to the Congress, and around 17% to the BJP and 12% to the JDS. The CSDS Lokniti poll shows that around 59% of the Muslim vote this time seems to be with the Congress, which is around 7 to 8% less than what they got in 2018. The BJP vote share among the Muslims is more or less the same, whereas in the Janata Dal it has increased. So possibly this also was a strategy to try and rally the Muslim vote more significantly in their favor and raise it from the 59% which the study says it was at. Let's also remember that a few days ago the SDPI issued a statement where they said that the vote should be for those who can defeat the BJP. So I think all these factors would point at the chance of a minority consolidation being attempted. Yes, very much that is something that...
R.K. Upadhyay, do you buy this theory that multiple Congress strategists are putting out saying that, this isn't a slip of the tongue, this is something that they claim they've thought through. They believe that this will help them polarize the Muslim vote. 13% is a big number, and if you start on across the state with about 13% in the bag, it makes your task of getting across the finishing line in a 3-corner election easier. And therefore the Congress says what we're trying to do is pull away the Muslim voters who may have been tempted to vote for the Janata Dal Secular and get them to vote for us instead.
Absolutely, Rahul. I think it's a calculated risk they're taking. I'm sure there's a lot of debate which has gone on before the decision was taken. Of course, the outcome has not been probably what they expected. See, they won about 80 seats with 38% of votes. So to get to the majority, that 113, they need about 4 to 5% more than what they got last time. So from 38, they have to increase it to 43 to be able to get a majority on their own. So that is where probably they're looking at the Muslim votes as a big chunk which can come to Congress. See, what is happening now is the JDS has been taking quite a big chunk of the Muslim votes. As we have seen from the chart, they've got 12% of the Muslim votes last time, down from 20% in 2014. So if they can get half of that, that will serve their purpose. And also,
but the fear in this strategy, the fear in attempting to be too clever by half, is that you could potentially polarize the majority. The majority so far, Lavanya Balal, wasn't particularly enthused. In the CSDS poll, 31% of the respondents said they wanted to vote for the BJP, which is less than the number of people who had voted for the BJP last time. Only 31% wanted the government to be re-elected. So if only 31% are wanting the government to be re-elected, what you could have potentially done, while you may be able to consolidate a part of the Muslim vote, what you may have been able to do is get the BJP voter really charged up, and that could be to your great disadvantage on the 10th of May.
Well, Rahul, in spite of this big issue that we're talking about, the Bajrang Dal, banning of the Bajrang Dal, let me make it very clear. The voters, when we are talking about voters, Bajrang Dal is not an entire Hindu population. Bajrang Dal does not mean Hindus. There is a huge chunk of Hindus who are upset with the administration of the BJP government in Karnataka. And this particular thing that we are talking about is also appealing to a huge chunk of Hindus who do not like their peace to be disrupted on a daily basis by any kind of organizations like this. So we are not worried about a backlash because of the small. There might be a
Sriraj
small
Nair,
backlash.
do you concede this point that Sandeep Shastri just made, that the voter who's out in the street, the one who's chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, is already a BJP voter? That this doesn't materially change the end result on the 10th, because these are BJP voters who are irritated, and there are enough non-Hindu, non-Hindutva voters who are backing a party like the Congress because they don't like how the BJP government in Karnataka has done? Or do you think that this singular issue could potentially be a game changer? Sriraj Nair.
Absolutely. No, absolutely not. I agree with Mr. Sandeep Shastri.
Sriraj Nair.
Well, Rahul, the questions to me, let me answer.
Yes, sir.
Let me answer. Well, Rahul, in Hindi there is a saying, in Hindi there is a saying, Khisyani billi khamba noche. Now, Congress very well knew that they are not going to win the elections. So, this is a last attempt to rake up Bajrang Dal. And there was no need to drag Bajrang Dal in the politics of Karnataka. They saw the Muslim votes drifting towards JDS and some going to Aam Aadmi Party and MIM. This was the last resort they attempted. But this is not going to work. Definitely Hindu votes are going. It is not only the BJP cadres or the Bajrang Dal cadres or the VHP cadres. It is the Hindus in totality who are very upset about this decision to ban Bajrang Dal. Now, and they compared, and the other thing which hurt the Hindus in totality is the comparison between PFI, which is already banned. So Bajrang Dal is not a banned organization; it's a pan-India organization. Now, they should have, if they had the guts, they should have banned Bajrang Dal in Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, where they have their government, or Himachal Pradesh. So this is a pure drama. They dragged the Bajrang Dal in the drama, in the political drama unnecessarily, and believe me, Rahul, on 13th, Congress is going to be routed. They are going to pay a huge price for this blunder they have made. In Hindi, again, there is a saying, in Sanskrit, there is a saying, Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. A leader like Rahul Gandhi, who has been repeatedly making mistakes after mistake, losing states after states, again making a similar mistake of again portraying anti-Hindu. This is going to be a big blunder for Congress, and they are going to be routed in the Karnataka election. They coined the term of saffron terror. They paid a price. They went against Ram Mandir. They paid a price. During Indraji, they shot. They shot against the sadhus. They paid a price. So
okay.
They are not learning.
Mr. M. Arvagalam,
this is a big blunder.
From the perspective of the Janata Dal secular, do you think that this could potentially chip away at some of the Muslim voters who would have backed the JDS otherwise and consolidate the Muslim voters in favor of the Congress?
No, actually, this is not the question of need of the hour. This is why, because you will be knowing that BJP have nothing have done for Karnataka, same as Congress also. So Congress, as I said, to get the potential of a vote, especially Muslim community vote, they could have done this one. But thing is very clear, both the national parties are not working to the benefit of the people of Karnataka. Why? Because these BJP leaders, as well as Congress leaders, never went to door to meet almost all the poor downtrodden of the earth, especially in Karnataka. Now, if that is the case, here whatever the game planned by Congress or game planned by BJP, whatever they are doing to a fast 2 days, it's definitely it is not going to affect any vote bank for JDS. But one thing is, as our CM candidate Kumarana has been to the Pancharatra Yatra past 5 months, he is into the village. We don't want to comment about this all. Why? Because we are towards the people, we are towards the farmer, we are towards the poor, we are towards the downtrodden people. We are doing it. And moreover, now this is not the need of the hour. Why? Because BJP doesn't have anything to tell to the people of Karnataka. Congress doesn't have anything to tell to the people of Karnataka. Now the BJP has grown very strong in South India. It is because due to failure of Congress. Congress has failed almost all in every part of entire India. That is one which made rise of BJP. Now BJP is playing both. Why? Because very simple. Both BJP and Congress are communal parties. They are never secular party. One stand on one community, other stand on other community. But being a secular party, especially state party, we are doing our duty.
Okay.
Even today, it is also very clear.
You know, now it's very clear that the BJP on the issue of Bajrang Dal has been able to enthuse its own cadre and its own base. You know, that you can't contest. Even from this show, Lavanya having to explain, accept that this is being discussed as a matter. The new polls coming out of Karnataka suggest that there has been in some districts a certain change. Now, whether that change is big enough, that may or may not be correct, but there is a change which is visible. The other thing that the BJP would bank on, and that's really the final blow that they have, is the Prime Minister's performance on Saturday and Sunday in those rallies. Now remember, he'll be doing road shows in Bengaluru. I just want to put out the data on our screen. Bengaluru has 28 seats, and if you compare in the last two elections, there was a pretty even split. Now, if you look at, say, Delhi, or if you look at even Mumbai or the other major urban pockets of the country, in recent elections post-2014, these big urban pockets had tended to vote for the BJP. Bengaluru is one of the exceptions, where in 2018, the Congress had actually won 15 seats, the BJP only 11. So the Congress actually won more in Bengaluru despite being in government than the BJP. And in 2013, the Congress had won 13 and 12. So it's pretty split down the middle. Now, what the Prime Minister, and remember, he's doing like 5-hour, 6-hour road shows. What he's doing is he's putting his own credibility on the line, doing what he did in Gujarat and trying to turn the election by saying, I am with you, Bengaluru, I am with you, Karnataka. Given that in past elections, Bengaluru has tended to be split down the middle, R.K. Upadhyay, do you think the Prime Minister can take this 15-11 tally in favor of the Congress and turn it around and skew this in favor of the BJP? Could he make that difference this weekend?
I think that's what he's trying to do. You know, in the last two times when the BJP got more than 100 seats, they were not able to attain majority. He's trying his best this time to see that the BJP is able to cross that mark. And especially Bangalore City matters a lot, because Bangalore City has a high percentage of BJP supporters. The only problem has been the percentage of voting. So this time they're trying to increase the percentage of voting from 50 to 53 to about 60 or 65. And that could make a big difference. You know, this road shows that the Prime Minister has planned. I mean, he's going to be around for 2 days. It is split into a Saturday and Sunday because, it's going to affect the traffic. So he is covering about 18 constituencies in Bangalore City, and this is going to make a very big difference because he's after all tall leader, and he's revered in Karnataka. So in the parliamentary elections, we have seen that how the kind of support that he gets. Now he wants to transfer that to the assembly elections as well. So that is what he's trying his best. And this time, if he succeeds, I know this will be some record, because Karnataka has never seen the same government.
In an election where every seat matters, Sandeep Shastri, the 28 seats of Bengaluru, 32 if you include the rural areas of Greater Bengaluru, become crucial. They've tended to be split down the middle. Can the Prime Minister skew this urban pocket like he's been able to in cities like Delhi, Mumbai and elsewhere? Just make it all BJP-wadi?
Rahul, I would agree with what Ramakrishna said. One point. Critical will be the voter turnout in Bangalore City, because Bangalore City district has been the district in Karnataka since 1983 which has had the lowest voter turnout every election. So if the voter turnout in Bangalore City is to increase, that will be good news for the BJP, and if they are able to achieve that, that will be an achievement. Point number two, Rahul, even as the term of the assembly got over, that 15-11 skew what was there in favor of the Congress had already changed, because a lot of the Bangalore MLAs of the Congress and JDS had actually moved over to the BJP and were ministers in this government. All of them have been given the ticket again to contest, and the belief is that the individuals are doing well. So I think that's yet another factor we have to budget into what could happen in Bangalore City. And as you said, third and last, let's also remember that Bangalore City has a significant non-Kannadiga population from other states, population from states where the BJP is very popular and has been doing well. Now, can that impact the voters of those states living in Bangalore? I think all these are
Lavanya Balal, so while Bajrang Dal may have been just one nail, this could be the second. Because the Prime Minister is spending virtually the whole weekend on the roads of Bengaluru. He is far and away the most popular politician in the country, and his presence could electrify not just the BJP supporters but even those who aren't ordinarily enthused to vote, and they may feel that let's go out and do and vote on the 10th. And remember, the 10th is in the middle of the week.